Over the last few years, the Sonic series has been in an interesting place. Can you believe that Forces was released back in 2017? Sonic has been on a downward spiral for the past few years because of the lack of good Sonic games released during that time. I found Forces to be boring since the levels were short and the story was trying too hard to be serious. The Team Sonic racing experience wasn't all that fun, but nothing can compare to All-Stars Racing Transformed. Colors Ultimate and Origins show that we can't trust Sega with HD ports or remasters. So far, things are not looking good for Sega. But there's a small bit of hope, with the newest mainline game being shown at IGN. Hey IGN, can you, the game ships out in like the next week. Can you make quick gameplay of Sonic Frontiers, show off the world and stuff? Can you do that? Alright, let's see what this Sonic is about.
IGN First for the month of June 2022 is all about Sonic Frontiers.
If you've been in the Sonic community for any bit of time, you know that IGN is famous for their horrible reviews of Sonic games. And with this game, they did not do it justice. The first thing I noticed when watching this was that Sonic is slower than he is in the final version we have so far. Maybe that's the default speed level, but even when he's boosting, the bird flying next to him goes faster. The world is especially empty besides the one enemy the player sidesteps away from. Sonic clips on any surface, including rough walls. Sonic's rail switching animation is only on one side, so it looks really off. There are a lot of things wrong with the showcase, and the fandom immediately noticed it. But we can't lose hope yet, right? We still haven't seen the combat that IGN said they were going to show off.
IGN First continues on with yet another look at Sonic Frontiers gameplay, this time focusing on combat.
Besides this player spamming homing attacks and fighting slowly, the animations and combos have mostly stayed the same from the final version. Nothing happened after the IGN showcase besides Cyberspace leaks and people who played early demos saying that we should give the game a second chance because they had fun. We also got that beautiful prologue animation with Knuckles. I love how they made Angel Island important again. So we can move on to talking about the actual game now. Eggman finds an ancient ruin and puts one of his inventions on it to get control of the ancient technology, and since this is a Sonic game, that plan is somehow going to backfire. He only has control for a few seconds as the invention turns on its protection protocol and sucks Eggman into the portal. We cut to Sonic and Tails and hey look, it's Amy. Sega finally thought Amy was important to bring for the adventure. Thankfully, she does a lot more than she did in Unleashed and Lost World thanks to the writer of the IDW comic, Ian Flynn, writing for this game, and it is a breath of fresh air not hearing Sonic making jokes about everything he sees. Sonic is serious when he's supposed to be, and we need more of this. Getting back on track, we find out the group is going to the Starfall Islands because Tails detected the Chaos Emeralds were there. Something goes wrong with the tornado as it spins out of control and the trio gets sucked into cyberspace. Someone needs to inform Tails that his planes have a curse because every time he flies one, it somehow gets launched out of the sky. I might as well talk about cyberspace while we're here. Sonic's movement is very slow, which makes sense because these levels are mostly for platforming. But why make the boost slow as well? The whole point of the boost style of gameplay is to blast through levels at supersonic speeds faster than you've seen Sonic run before. Now it's just a slight boost of speed. The light speed dash even slows you down. How do you mess that up? There is no air speed. If you try boosting in the air, you will not get very far. The homing attack has a slight delay before you can use it again, which is weird because Forces didn't even have that problem. 1-2 being the most demanding level to S rank made these levels fun for me because I had to figure out ways to gain more speed and forward momentum to get to the end fast enough. Sadly, that's the only level that has a challenge for the S rank. Cyberspace would be a ton more fun if all S ranks were like this. But overall, the aesthetics of Cyberspace are just Green Hill for the billionth time, Chemical Plant, Sky Sanctuary, been a while since we've seen this one, and a new city stage. Most of the stage designs are new, but a few stages I've noticed are copied from past Sonic levels. Generations Green Hill, City Escape, Sky Road, Dragon Road, Radical Highway, Generation Sky Sanctuary, and there's probably more I don't recognize. But I guess it makes sense because it is confirmed that Cyberspace pulls stuff from Sonic's memories. But that doesn't explain why the levels you play as Shadow are in here. Lucky for us, Cyberspace is only part of the adventure. After beating the first cyberspace level, Sonic lands on the first part of the Starfall Islands, hearing a disembodied voice telling him he's the key and tells him to find the Chaos Emeralds and defeat the Titans to tear down the wall between dimensions to free Amy and Tails. With no other option, Sonic has to explore across these new frontiers to find his friends, get memory tokens, help the new cute species, the Coco, and find out the mystery of the ancients and the connection to the Chaos Emeralds. While Sonic is exploring, he runs into Sage, the new fan favorite, trying to warn him to stay away from the island while he still can. And if he doesn't, she gets the Titans to target Sonic. The first Titan we come across literally throws Sonic into a mountainside, knocking him out like he was nothing. That's how you make a good first impression of a boss. Stay away from whatever you guys are trying to do with Infinite, who only has a cool design and a sick theme song to carry his character. Sonic's control in the open zone compared to Cyberspace is like night and day. Sonic feels smooth. He can run in a straight line without slowly moving over. The boost is pretty fast, and you can do a figure 8 with the new side loop ability to get an infinite boost for a short amount of time. Maxing out your ring count gives you an electric boost, which is faster than a regular boost. The drop dash may be the only thing with momentum, but just running around the open zone, doing puzzles to complete the map, defeating mini bosses to test my combos, or collecting more portal gears to open up new cyberspace levels makes this game enjoyable in my eyes. Sometimes I'll even stop and look at the scenery around me because of the new night and day cycle, a cut concept from Sonic 06 of all things. You can see each island in a new light, and it even affects cutscenes. You can see the same cutscene at dawn or night, which makes each playthrough unique. Every mini boss on each island is a fun challenge, but I do not want to fight this giant from the first island again because the collision bugs out when you try to use these blue rings to get to the top. Speaking of collision, Sonic's new soap shoes must have magnets in the bottom because they cling to rough surfaces. Mostly when boosting around, you'll suddenly be falling into the air, which could lead to some nice skips if you plan it out, but most of the time it's annoying. By collecting Coco, you can choose to increase your speed and ring count, and by collecting these red and blue seeds, you can increase both your defense and strength. I wish we can choose which one to upgrade, like with the speed and ring count, because increasing attack power makes later enemies a breeze to fight, and I had more fun fighting when I was at a lower level. But if I keep it at level 1, I can't level up my defense, so Sonic takes more damage and dies quicker. I love the first 3 islands designs. Kronos being a quiet room with this piano theme playing in the background. Giganto being taller than the tallest mountain, Ares being a desert with a shark robot and Wyvern flying around the tower, and Chaos Island being a volcano with lava around it. Then the last 2 islands recycle the first. They have confirmed that Kronos, Rhea, and Oranos were supposed to be on the same island in the early stages of development, but I guess they were short on time again because they had to split it up. I guess it's not a good marketing strategy to have 3 big islands for a Sonic game. The only island I had a problem with was Chaos Island because it was just a dumping ground for Sonic Team's obsession with 2D sections. Almost every dash pad and spring will lead you locked into a 2D space. Even the treasure icons you can side loop over will spawn a dash pad or a spring to launch you into more 2D sections. I guess because this island is where you rescue Tails, it has to be filled with 2D. They did Chaos Island dirty because to get to night, you have to clear the mist surrounding it. How do you do it, you ask? Go inside a cavern and do a pinball minigame. Ah yes, my favorite Sonic style, stupidly long pinball with a high score you have to get. Don't worry though, you can collect red rings that will give you a score multiplier, but if the ball falls, you lose the score multiplier. Luckily for me, I didn't have that much trouble with the pinball section because I always struggle with Sonic Adventure's pinball stage, so this one wasn't that bad in comparison.
We still haven't found Tails. We've been wrangling children and taking detours the whole way.
The cutscenes are kinda half and half for me. There are sadly no CGI cutscenes in this game, which sucks because the game could have had some outstanding CGI. Some cutscenes are more expressive than previous games and have more dynamic angles and lots of action, like the cutscene with Sonic avoiding getting squished by Giganto with this panning shot showing the sheer size of Giganto compared to Sonic. Then some cutscenes are just the character standing around switching idle animations, which actively ruins immersion. Sure, most open world games have this problem too. Horizon Zero Dawn is a good example, but this is an open zone game. This is supposed to separate Sonic from the other open world competition, like Breath of the Wild, Mario Odyssey, Horizon, and other open world games. The interactions with Sonic's friends are some of my favorite parts of this game. especially with Knuckles and Tails. Knuckles wants to move away from Angel Island and wants to be more than just the Master Emerald Guardian, and Tails isn't a coward anymore and wants to move on and have his adventures to get stronger. The design choice of these cutscenes is weird. They choose to make the cutscenes have these black bars like they're trying to make us think we're watching a movie, but it looks super weird. And the cutscene where Sonic gets on top of the waterfall and Kronos looks stretched to fit in the black bars, which looks super wrong. Therefore, I just put black bars over the gameplay as well because it's more consistent, and I don't have to zoom in on the cutscenes like I'm zooming in on a movie that was made to have a different aspect ratio on widescreen. The main reason for this creative idea was that the Xbox Series X doesn't allow you to record gameplay longer than 10 minutes, so I had to use my phone and remote play to record the gameplay. After collecting 6 of the 7 Chaos Emeralds on each island, the Titan reappears and you have to get on top of their heads to get the last Chaos Emerald and turn Supersonic. I'm glad we've passed trying to make us pay for Supersonic. The first time we see each of these Titans, we get shown that they are way more powerful than Sonic, forcing him to escape them somehow and find the Chaos Emeralds. Wyvern shoots out barrages of missiles, forcing Sonic to run away and take cover, and Knight launches a spinning shield at Sonic, making him use the Squid Trails to run away, and use that same shield to defeat Squid, which was pretty smart. These boss fights remind me of the final bosses of the adventure games, with the rock music blasting in the background as you fight as Supersonic. Each music track for these bosses is fantastic, and sadly, these are the only recognizable songs in the soundtrack, besides Flowing and Enjoy This World, but that's it. My favorite fights are Giganto and the Knight because of the spectacles they give. Wyvern is just full of parrying and quick time events, and it's just carried by Breakthrough It All. Undefeatable is my favorite song in the soundtrack, and Knight's fight is my favorite fight in the game with the spectacle and the music that just blends perfectly, and the cherry on top being Sonic taking his sword and finishing him with it. Feels like they're referencing a certain Sonic Flash game, but maybe that's just me. Even though the Knight fight is my favorite, trying to parry this shield to hit the Knight always has me struggling because the Knight moves faster than the shield. I guess I have to get better even though I beat this game on a so-called hard difficulty. I will never touch extreme mode because you die if you get hit once and you can't level up your stats at all.
Hang tight, partner. We're almost through this.
Be careful.
Careful? Where's the fun in that?
So now, Sonic has saved Amy, Knuckles, and Tails from their bubbles, and now Sonic seems injured from the corruption. Oh yeah, each time Sonic saves his friend, Sonic absorbs some corruption, which takes over him. As he climbs the towers in Rhea, he sees memories of how the ancients found Earth, their history with the Chaos Emeralds, and how they got wiped out. After seeing the last memory, Sonic's corruption takes over him, which frees everyone from cyberspace, but it also leaves Sonic between dimensions. Now, here's a quick question. Do you think A, Sonic's friends will battle Eggman and Sage for causing this, B, look around the island for a way to save Sonic, or C, circle around Sonic and somehow save him? If you answered C, you must be as disappointed as I am. But this is Sega we're talking about. Sonic 06 had multiple characters trying to save Sonic, and what happened then? everyone was tired of multiple characters. Instead, Amy, Knuckles, and Tails circle Sonic and just disappear, which cures Sonic of his corruption. Is the power of friendship leaking into my favorite game series now? This is not good for me. So with Sonic freed, Sage comes up with a new calculation. If Sonic and Eggman team up and find the Chaos Emeralds, they can stop the entity from destroying the fabric of reality. Sonic explores Oranos Island, fighting harder versions of previous mini-bosses, and gets 6 Chaos Emeralds as Eggman finds the 7th and gives it to Sonic. Sage tells Eggman that she needs to help Sonic to protect him. Eggman replies by telling her it's alright and she can complete her mission, with Eggman sounding sad. Throughout the game, you can see what's going on with Eggman and Sage in cyberspace, as Sage is reporting what's going on with Sonic on the outside and trying to get Eggman safely out of cyberspace, as protecting him is her #1 priority. When saving Tails, Sage gets emotional at how close Sonic and Tails are and wants to feel the same with Eggman, calling him father. The game shows a montage with sad music trying to make us feel sentimental for Sage, but it just made me laugh because Eggman just treats her as any other invention, giving her orders and being just as impatient as always, but only shows feelings of sadness for Sage right at the end of the game. Come on, Eggman. Sonic turns Super and defeats Supreme, which Sage goes inside and takes control of to help Super Sonic fight the end. Oh, here we go. It's been ages since a good Supersonic final boss. Cool fighting, awesome music, a good challenge, and a great experience. I can't wait to fight it.
He took your home world. He took your lives. Are you going to let him do it all over again? I need your help. We can end this. Please. Now or never!
Okay, we're starting with quick time events. I bet this is when the final boss actually starts. Wait, that's it? That's the climax of the story? What was the point of Sage taking control of the Titan if she doesn't even help? Well, she sacrificed herself because the end was going to blow up itself and take the world with it. Okay, that makes sense. I realized that every time we get a new character in the games, by the end of it they'll sacrifice themselves to save the world. Will there ever be a character that just stays with the cast, like General? Also, why is the boss just quick time events? I switched to normal because I thought the boss was going to be hard, so maybe I should just switch back and see if anything's changed.
He took your home world. He took your lives. Are you going to let him do it all over again? I need your help. We can end this. Please.
What is this? Yeah, it is hard, and Sage is helping Supersonic, but now Supersonic isn't doing anything until the QuickTime event happens again. How do you mess up a Supersonic final boss? I'm getting worried now. So now everyone is free from cyberspace, Supersonic glides down, and the emeralds fly away again. They get on the tornado and fly away, and Eggman is looking at the horizon, mourning the loss of Sage, which made me feel for him a bit. But that was immediately lost as the post-credits scene shows that he has a backup of her in his system. My final thoughts on this game are mixed. On one hand, I can see what Sonic Team is trying to do with the series, and am excited about what they're going to do next. The open zone is enjoyable to explore, and completing every puzzle was rewarding. Their character interactions provide a delightful shift in pace, and are the best portrayals of these characters. I love how expressive and dynamic most of the cutscenes were, and they were an agreeable change from the last decade of standing around and expositing about the current situation. The writing for this game is an enormous improvement from past Sonic games. It strikes a good balance between seriousness and calm moments. There is a lot of effort that the developers at Sonic Team put into this game, but there are a lot of problems that need fixing. Most of the optional cutscenes that expand the world building are just the characters standing around and switching idle animations. There's this one instance of Sonic not moving his lips even though he was supposed to be talking. Knuckles is always going into this single item animation most of the time for no reason. And Sonic always has the same 3 item animations, which ruins the charm these cutscenes could have had. Sonic's cyber corruption was not doing anything despite being shown that it was taking a significant toll on Sonic. And the problem is fixed by just Sonic's friends forming a circle and disappearing. The end being shown and told to be this all-powerful being, but then we turn Super Sonic and we solve the problem with no challenge, and the sacrifice that's supposed to make us feel bad for Eggman, but if you didn't fish for tokens and listen to the optional tapes that Eggman left in cyberspace, then you'll only see Eggman telling Sage orders, then suddenly feeling sad when she has to sacrifice herself and thinking of her as a daughter, but not showing us that Eggman could think of her in that light. Show don't tell is an amazing thing to use in emotional moments like this, but Sonic Team never implements it enough. The score I give is 7.5 out of 10. I really enjoyed this game, and if Sonic Team could patch the issues, then this would be the best Sonic game for this era. There are a lot of good and bad things about this game, but if you are a Sonic fan and want to pick up his latest adventure, then I'd say this game is worth it, especially at the $35 it is now. Alright, finally done with the Sonic Frontiers video. Hey bro, what you doing in here? Oh, nothing, just finished my video on Sonic Frontiers. That's cool. Did you talk about the DLC? There's DLC?